Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. So it's another episode of Crime Files. Yes, Crime Files on the street of YT. And you guys, I'm just back here again to report another Nigerian who was recently extradited from France to the United States of America. Yes, this Nigerian was extradited from France after an alleged multi-million dollar fraud and identity theft campaign. And guys, it's not because I don't love Nigerians, but I am of the opinion that any Nigerian who has committed a crime and spent time in jail in diaspora, once they've come back home to Nigeria, in fact, we need to name and shame them before they even arrived in Nigeria because one, once they enter Nigeria, Nigerian government, or I don't think there's a list in Nigeria that lists people like that. So which means that in 5 years' time, you will not know where they've originated from. You will not know what they've done in diaspora. But maybe in the case of Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio, if such cases happen, that is where it will bring the leg of the criminals out. And you guys, I'm sure you understand why I'm doing this because, like I said, any Nigerian who has committed any sort of crimes, either buying, fraud, whatever crimes they might have committed, which could have led them to spend some time in jail. If there's news like this in diaspora, putting their names out. If we find such news, we should put out their name. Because like I said, you'll be shocked if you see them in the House of Senate in years to come. Anyway, like I said, I found this news on the Department of Justice, U.S. Department of Justice, which I'm going to share my screen with you now. So I'm going to share my screen with you because that was where I found the news. And then I'll just read the news on either Punch or Vanguard as regards to how the news was reported. Because like I said, some Nigerians in diaspora, like I said, if God gave you the chance, if God gave you the opportunity to be able to jackpot out of Nigeria, to go to diaspora, and if you think a life of fraud, if you think a life of crime is what you want to start doing there, or more, you're on a long thing. And yes, when you get caught, you should spend your time in jail, and afterwards they should send your ass back to Nigeria so you go and continue with whatever it was you had there. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Okay, so I found this news, like I said, on the United States Attorney's Office. That's where I found the news. And according to them, this news was reported on the 5th of August, 2025. And it says that Nigerian man extradited to face hacking, fraud, and identity theft charges. So it says here that United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, an assistant director in charge of the New York Field Office of the Federal Bureau, their name is all there, announced that Chukwuemeka Victor Amachukwu, aka Chukwuemeka Victor Eletu, aka So Kwan Ling. This guy, he has a Nigerian name. He has another Nigerian name. And then he now went on to give himself, like, is that a Ching Ching Chong Chinese name? I don't know. Anyway, was extradited yesterday to the US from France in connection with hacking, fraud, and identity theft offenses. So I hope you guys can hear me clearly. So let's keep reading the news as it's there. We further on read that Amachukwu was presented today, which was the 5th of August, before U.S. Magistrate Judge Robert W. Lee Boga. The case is assigned to U.S. District Judge Paul G. Gadeff. I hope that's how the name is pronounced. So, as you can see here, in quote, as alleged, Chukwuemeka Victor Amachukwu took part in a scheme to hack into U.S. tax businesses, trade in the stolen identifying information of victims, and defraud the IRS and other governmental bodies. I don't know why the governmental bodies in the United States, I don't know why their systems, their website are easy to track and they are easy to hack into. I don't understand. Anyway, those of you who are into software developing, could you please educate us or let us know how this website let us know how these websites are being hacked into like that, because like I said, why is it so easy for them to hack into website like that? Anyway, U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton, in quote, Amachukwu also allegedly took part in a separate fraud scheme that promised its victims valuable investment that did not in fact exist. This office and our law enforcement partners stand committed to protecting Americans from criminals operating here and offshore. So that was what was said there. And like I said, guys, they've been naming every Tom, Dick, and Harry that have been involved either in fraud, whatever. Since Trump came in, Trump has been trumping every one of them. So if you are still in the US and you partake or you had a hand during COVID period and you were doing fraud here and there, you were defrauding IRS or more, it will reach your turn because they will trump you out of that country, and before they trump you out, you will spend your time in jail. So the story continues saying that, in quote, Amachukwu allegedly operated multiple illicit fraud schemes, identifying theft computer intrusions via spear phishing, and false investment, profiting at the cost of others. So the FBI assistant director in charge mentioned, if you are attempting to enrich yourself by scamming Americans from behind the keyboard, the FBI, with an extensive law enforcement partnership, is willing and able to bring you to the United States to face justice. That's how US will go. US don't care wherever you are. As long as they're able to extradite you, as long as the country where you've perpetrated that offense or that crime are willing to extradite you, US will extradite you, yes. So according to the superseding indictment, public court filings, and statements made in court, beginning in at least in or about 2019, Amachukwu, his co-conspirator Kingsley Uchelulu Utulu, and other Nigerian-based conspirators took part in a scheme to hack into US-based tax preparation businesses, including several US-based businesses located in New York, Texas, and other states, by utilizing spear phishing emails to obtain access to these businesses' electronic systems. Once they had obtained access, the conspirators stole the tax and other identifying information of the businesses and obviously their customers. The conspirators obtained the stolen identity information of thousands of individuals and used this information to file fraudulent tax returns with the Internal Revenue Service and state tax authorities. The conspirators sought fraudulent refunds of at least approximately $8.4 million, of which they successfully obtained at least approximately $2.5 million. Wow. In addition to filing fraudulent tax returns, the conspirators used stolen identities to file fraudulent claims with the Small Business Administration's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. The conspirators were able to obtain at least an additional approximately $819,000 US in fraudulent pay. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Anyway, the article continued that Amachukwu is also charged with participating in a separate fraud scheme. In this scheme, the defendant offered victims investment in purportedly valuable standby letters of credit. However, these letters of credit did not exist, and Amachukwu pocketed millions of dollars of his victims' money. See the way they wrote his name in alphabet. This is a serious case, guys. It's not funny, but anyway, Amachukwu was arrested in France at the request of the United States for his involvement in this scheme, and he was thereafter extradited to the US. So Amachukwu is 39 years old from Nigeria. He is charged with one count of conspiracy to commit computer intrusions, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, 2 counts of wire fraud, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. This guy will not come out of prison, though. And aggravated identity theft, which carries a mandatory consecutive sentence of 2 years in prison. So the mandatory minimum and maximum potential sentences in this case are prescribed by Congress and provided here for information purposes only, as any sentencing of the defendant will be determined by the judge. So as it is now, this guy, Amachukwu, has been arrested. As always, we don't have an image of him. It would be lovely if the US will start releasing their image for us. So, like I said, guys, now Amachukwu now defrauded IRS, apply for tax, fraudulent tax refunds. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So, like I said, it was extradited from France and he's been sent to the US. And they found that it was not the only one. So he has other people who are still operating in Nigeria. But like I said, those ones, their cup will be full and they will arrest them. So, guys, and I'm going to keep saying this, all of this money that this guy has defrauded the US now, IRS, some money for small businesses, he has applied using fake and stolen identities. Hence why, be very, very careful wherever you find yourself. Make sure you keep your details safe, okay? If it's a letter, even here you're in the UK, if you just open your letter and you just put it in the trash, anybody could be, look into the trash and they see your letter. As long as they have your name and whatever, they can use it to apply for credit card. They can use it to apply for a lot of things. So, advice is this: when you're throwing out your letter, just don't throw out your letter. Go and buy a shredder. Shred any letter that you are not needing, so that they don't have any of your details on it. So now this guy now is going to be jailed, and his other co-conspirators, they are going to catch them. Because I don't understand now, you find yourself in France, you're living a good life, and they decide to start defrauding people. And I said, come, US is the wrong country you want to fraud now. And like I said, there's no amount of money you want to originate from crime. That money will not last long. You're defrauding people, you're putting people in abject pain, you're putting people in abject wants, because that money is meant for a set of people, is meant for a set of businesses, but because of your own greed, you've gone in, hacking into the systems and you're hacking people's money. Like I said, in my own opinion, I don't care where you're from in Africa. If you travel abroad and you start committing crime, let them send you back to where you come from. Let them, catch you, spend your time in jail, and send you back, and make sure they're able to take everything you have derived from that crime you're making. Because, like I said, it doesn't look good on Nigerians in diaspora. It doesn't look good because you've come to abroad, you as a Nigerian, you're now committing fraud, and then the kind of eye that they are looking to look at you is the same eye they're going to keep using to look at other Nigerians. It doesn't speak well of us as Nigerians, and I think it's high time as Nigerians we need to start telling each other that we need to start telling each other off, and which is what I am doing via this video. I am telling Nigerians who commit fraud abroad or who commit crimes abroad. I am telling you off that enough is enough. Enough is enough. Why won't Kemi Bad not be coming out here and be saying, "Oh, that is why she's quick to be, to defend the UK"? Why won't? And yes, she can let her become whatever she wants to become. But like I said, she is distancing herself as a Nigerian now because at the end of the day, some Nigerians are committing shenanigans abroad, and she doesn't want her white to be stained. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinion in regards to this story. Should Amachukwu have been jailed in France, or do you think the US is wasting money by extraditing him to the US? Because I think they said the prison in US is posh. Guys, is it true? How posh is the prison in US? How posh is it? Let me know in the comment section. And also, I really want to know how these people are able to get into the systems of IRS, how they're able to get into the system of these people that they've defrauded. Like, how easy is it that they don't have I don't even know. Is it that their websites are not well suited or secured that anybody with a hacking brain could just easily hack into their systems? Guys, let me know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. And with that being said, if you watched the video till now, if not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you've not yet done so, turn on your post notification, share this video. Do not hesitate to join my membership, and I'll have to catch up with you in another video. All right, bye for now. Bye.